And in business news, the Nigerian Shippers Council has affirmed government's drive to diversify the shipping sector and attract investments, particularly in boosting rail connectivity to reduce business costs at the ports. The Executive Secretary, Mr. Paul Sakuta, emphasized his commitment during a recent tour of eastern ports. We have details in this report.
During the tour, Mr. Payo Sakuta and members of the Council's management team inspected key port facilities, including Boa Port Terminal, One Multipurpose Terminal, and West Africa Container Terminal. Discussions at this site underscored the Council's dedication to fulfilling government directives on economic diversification, with a strong emphasis on port automation to optimize processes and minimize human intervention.
We have seen the kind of investment that is here is a huge investment. And all we need to do is to see how we can facilitate the economic realities of this investment to bear on the Nigerian economy. So when we automate our systems and everything is being programmed that way, I believe that most of this human contact will reduce. And we are not going to drive anybody out of the port, but we enhance the quality of automations, both from the private sector engagement and the public sector engagement. And once that is done, it reduces that physical contact.
Engaging with stakeholders, Mr. Akuta highlighted the importance of collaboration in addressing challenges faced by businesses operating in the ports, assuring continued government support for infrastructure development.
As a regulator for the sector, we seek to work with the stakeholders and all the service users, the service providers and the users in the sector to enhance the efficiency of what is going on so that business will grow in Nigeria. The President has given the marching order because without having a renewed port, we may not be able to achieve the mandate for which Mr. President has given us to drive the economy in this direction. So there are plans on the way, and the Minister is working around the clock to see how these plans come to bear on the port systems in Nigeria.
Furthermore, Mr. Akuta advocated for legislative adjustments to enhance the Nigerian Shippers Council's role in regulating shipping and port economics. Ifunanya Eze, TVC News.
Practitioners in the insurance industry have been advised to imbibe the can-do spirit and daily push boundaries amidst the low acceptability purchasing power of many Nigerians. Immediate Past Secretary General of the African Insurance Organization, Ms. Priska Sores, gave the advice at a press conference ahead of an event to recognize excellence across the industry. Abimbola Akintaju was there and reports.
The Almond Insurance Award is a symbol of excellence, shaping the insurance industry for a safer and more secure future. According to the organizers, it is more than just a recognition. It is a benchmark of innovation, customer satisfaction, and industry leadership.
The purpose of this award is to reward excellence in the insurance industry and also to create a platform for the insurance buyers and sellers to interact during the award.
At the beginning, when the process started, a lot of people were not aware. But later on, they got interested. And for those who won awards, for instance, you could see that they were really very happy.
In a competitive market, the recognition set a high bar for insurers, motivating them to innovate and improve by recognizing excellence, ultimately benefiting the public who can expect better products, services, and peace of mind.
There are lots of people who can hardly eat now, but then it's actually the time that people need insurance. So insurance companies, some of them are, doing their best to see what they can do, but it's, what they say that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. It's very difficult to convince people to buy insurance when they can't eat. But then you have to try and come up with that, and that is where microinsurance, for instance, comes into play.
In terms of integrating technology properly into the industry, like we have InsurTech. You see, technology has helped insurance to grow globally. And we can see we have the InsurTech, we have technology is being introduced deeply into insurance practice, thereby helping to ensure a good customer delivery in terms of product and service of insurance to the public.
Organizers say they will ensure transparency and high integrity in the process of nominations and selections.
Stock trading resumed at various market sectors with renewed interest for equities by fund managers. Effiongekop reports on markets.
A new week starts at the nation's stock market with prospects of rising shares prices for the banks, many of which lost values the previous week. Big banks like UBA, Access Holdings, First Bank Holdings, Zenith, and GT Holdings all grabbed gains at various percentages. Trade index of the market shot up by 0.26% to support the price jumps. Business losers were Orlando in the oil and gas group, Wema Bank, Sterling Bank, FCMB, and Nascan. Business value of nearly 6 billion naira moved across the markets. And outside Nigeria, many African exchanges traded in the negative territories. The JSE in South Africa dropped index by 0.03% after investors and fund managers moved to sales windows. The stock market in Nairobi, Kenya closed downward following huge sales of securities by investors who needed cash. Finally, the market in Accra, Ghana ended deals flat. Many market players showed low interest in stock picks. Effiongekop, TVC News, Lagos.
Let's take you outside our shores. Asian shares from today as investors brace for a busy run of inflation data that could set a scene for European rate cuts as soon as next week and a U.S. policy easing within just a few months. Now, MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside Japan gained 0.6%, having slipped 1.5% last week and away from a two-year peak. Taiwan stocks reached a record high, having climbed more than 7% for the month so far on a wave of tech bullishness. Japan's Nikkei rose 0.5% and of our reading on Tokyo's consumer prices later in the week. Chinese blue chips from 0.4%, with the major release this week being the surveys of manufacturing and services for May. Eurostock 50 features is 0.1%. Trading FTSE were closed. S&P 500 dipped 0.1%, as did Nasdaq features. And finally, in business news, crude oil prices steadied in Asian trade today as markets awaited the OPEC Plus meeting scheduled for June 2nd, where producers are expected to discuss maintaining voluntary output cuts for the rest of the year. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose to sell at $77.90, up 0.23%. Brent is also experiencing an upward price review of 0.17% to sell at $82.26 per barrel. Bonnie Light recorded an upward price margin of 0.17% to sell at $80.95 per barrel. And for the OPEC basket, dealers are offering $82.41 with a decline of 1.03%.